Hey, and welcome back. Today we're headed up to Green Bay to visit a friend of mine, Corey Banky. People who watch this channel may think I'm the world's biggest Green Bay Packers fan, but as you'll see, Corey puts me to shame. He literally lives across the street from Lambeau Field and has dedicated a large portion of his life to learning about the history of the team and founding a fan site called Cheesehead TV. A couple years ago, I made a quick video teasing Cheesehead TV's new signature beer, and after I released it, Corey reached out to me because he had been hoping to get back into drumming, and as he saw my video and social channels, he thought maybe I'd be able to help. I offered some advice in helping Corey pick out a custom kit to order in late 2022, and after 15 months of patiently waiting, they finally arrived. Corey invited me up to help him unbox and get them set up, and share it with my channel, because as a fellow content creator, he knows people love unboxing videos. So as you can see, Corey ended up ordering a Gretsch kit with 5 different drums, and before we get too far along, I want to shout out Hyde Music in Northeast Wisconsin for helping Corey get this kit ordered. We started with the largest box, which of course was for the bass drum. As we opened it up, we were greeted with a whole bunch of goodies from Gretsch, like posters, decals, and other old and new marketing materials. As we dug through to get to the drum, I was really impressed with the care that Gretsch did in packing these. Everything was double boxed, with plenty of soft padding for the drums to show up not just in one piece, but in immaculate condition, fully assembled, and already in tune. I haven't had the pleasure of ordering a custom-built kit for myself, but it was cool to see Corey's reaction, especially after waiting so long for these to show up. And as you can see now, this kit is a Broadkaster series in sun amber gloss, and this bass drum is 14 by 24. From the 1920s through the 1950s, the Gretsch flagship drum set was the Broadkaster series. It featured a very thin 3-ply shell and produced what was to be that great Gretsch sound. Today in the Gretsch Drum Factory in Ridgeland, South Carolina, with the help of advanced drum making techniques, the Broadkaster has returned, bringing with it all of its sonic brilliance of its namesake. Broadkaster drums, along with Gretsch's USA series, are extremely customizable from the sizes and configuration of shells to the variety of different finishes they offer. Next up was the smallest rack tom, a 7x10 with Gretsch's GTS suspension system. Each of these drums came with a card to note who inspected it and on what date. I think that really shows the hands-on approach of drums made at Gretsch's Ridgeland factory, and I really love the aesthetic of these being very similar to the paper tags inside vintage Gretsch shells. The next drum was an 8x12 rack tom with the same suspension system. All of these drums seem to have Gretsch's 302 hoops, which are a nice compromise between triple flanged and die-cast. The next drum to open up was the first floor tom, this one being a 14x14 with Gretsch's classic looking diamond brackets for the legs. And finally, for the last drum, a 16x16 inch floor tom built to the same specs as the previous 14 inch floor tom. There was only one final box left to open, but that was just the double tom arm included to mount the rack toms directly on top of the bass drum. I spent the next hour or so helping Corey get these set up and tuned a bit for him to use, and that started with adding a pillow inside the bass drum to tighten up the tone a bit. I'm not typically a huge fan of bigger bass drums, but as I told Corey after playing this one, even wide open, I certainly see why people love 24s now, and it does seem to be a sound that I can't get from any of the smaller bass drums I already have. That's it, yeah. After getting the kick muffled and tuned up, I added the double tom mount and got the rack toms in rough position. There were memory locks at every turn, so it took me a little bit of time to show Corey how everything worked on this specific kit. I know that a lot of people would prefer to have a virgin kick without the toms mounted off them, but this is one of those decisions where I agree with Corey. The floor tom legs also had memory locks to deal with, and you have to make sure to orient them in the correct way, which is harder than it seems when you're working on these toms upside down. Once we had all the drums in place, we could get them paired up with this Ludwig Black Beauty snare that Corey had gotten a while back, as well as the array of Zildjian cymbals and DW hardware that was ordered with this kit. These drums were already in a pretty good tuning when we opened them, but I did take them down a bit to blend more with the big punch of the bass drum and the overall rock sound we were going for. In the end, I was really impressed with these drums, and they certainly lived up to the hype of that great Gretsch sound. I know plenty of you out there are probably waiting for a sound demo, but I didn't have my recording rig, and we didn't even have time to record one because there was a blizzard on the way later this afternoon. So before signing off, I want to thank Corey Banky for waiting a week to unbox his new kit so I could come up and join him, as well as thanks to Gretsch Drums and Hyde Music for their work on getting this kit in our hands, and last but not least, the Green Bay Packers and Cheesehead TV for being the catalyst that connected Corey and I. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on my future video releases. And until next time, go Pack Go. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to mention. Thank you, Corey, for sending me home with a whole playoff run's worth of Carry the G.